Okay.
I'm okay, man. I'm okay. I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, we're
Fine,
fine.
David. I'm so happy to meet you.
Yeah,
We've
sure.
always been chatting on Telegram.
It's a while. It's a while. It's been a while.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, sure. It's been.
yeah, I think
Come
some
again.
no, I wanted to say I think some people, is it Richmond and the likes. I was chatting with someone yesterday. He told me they are going somewhere for a project, and they might be out of internet connection for a short while. So I guess that's why some people are not connected today.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
yeah.
So
Una,
good
welcome.
evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. And today's topic is something that we are all interested in. Blockchain in Africa, the future of blockchain in Africa, and how we are actually accepting or adopting the blockchain and how quickly it's going. So this is just an open discussion, like we are all bringing our mind and our ideas on what we think about the blockchain in Africa, which is also being one of the Catalyst African Town Hall, our mandate to make sure that blockchain is, we can have a real use case for blockchain and also advance in the way we are doing our advocacy and our community events, like the one that David had today in Uganda. Just after the roundtable discussion, we'll give him also the chance to also tell us how his event went in Uganda. So yeah, that's it. So what I wanted us to know is that what I wanted us to discuss is we are all familiar with the blockchain. But the question is that have we personally used a blockchain-based application or a platform? Looking at ourselves as an African.
Yeah, I think that's a very nice question. Yeah, but I was thinking maybe before we go into this discussion, Daniel, probably so to give the information around the community about the fact that Fund 11 would be starting soon, so people.
Okay.
So maybe just to give that information about Fund 11, the few changes that have been made. Oh, I can do that now. Then after that, we go into the discussion about blockchain adoption in Africa before David gives us update. Personally, I would have preferred David gives us update before we now go into the agenda of blockchain adoption in Africa.
Okay, that's not also bad. That's not also bad. So we can do it like that. You know, this is not a formal section, so we can change and yeah, that's okay. So you want to give us an update on the Fund 11?
Yes, please. So guys,
Okay.
Fund 11 is starting soon, and I think that's good news to us. And Fund 11 is starting next week. So guys, put up your project, go back to whatever project that you think you need to tweak, to add some things, whatever needs to be done in order to make your project better and ready. You may want to do that. Also, few updates in Fund 11. Fund 11 is not going to be like Fund 10, and there's going to be tremendous changes like to the way Fund 10 was. So this is to say that most of our conversations that we had here has also been listened to. Most of whatever was being discussed here in our past town halls, we also had to send our own opinion to the general town hall, so Catalyst community. So a lot of changes are coming up, and one of such is the fact that in Fund 11, there will be no more down voting, because a lot of us complained about down voting as being one of the reasons why we were not funded, and why we're not comfortable with what was actually going on. So that's actually one. The second update that we will need to know is that in Fund 11, we are not going to have so many pools anymore. So we are going to have just 3 pools. And not only that, we are going to have pools for smaller. So if you have just an idea, we'll put it in a different pool. If you have a prototype, it's a different pool. And if you have an existing business, it's a different pool under the same topic. So this reduces the whole competition whereby you are in a small pool and you're competing with already existing platforms, right? And so that makes it very tough, right? And then also another change that will be coming up in Fund 11 is that this time around there will be caps. So people are not going to ask indefinite amount like we saw some guys do. I don't want to mention name last time, where people are asking for millions and for projects that can be done with just a few thousands of ADA. So that would be limited this time around. So people, there's a cap on how much people can ask, and then they have to execute on that before they can come back to ask for more. So these are some updates that you will be seeing in Fund 11. But the essence of this information is to let us start forming teams and getting ready for what is ahead. And from the 15th, it's going to be announced, and then on the 16th, the form is going to be officially open. Yeah, so that's just the information for now. Any other updates, we'll get it in our next town hall. We are in our next town hall, so you don't have to miss that. We are going to be talking about all the different pools, how we can apply, what is expected, and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, hopefully this will be beneficial to everyone.
Okay, Obio, thank you very much. I think this is better. We can adopt this on our next meetings. Before we start with the main agenda, we'll start with a recap of what is going on in the community, and I think it's a brilliant idea. And actually, this is one of the discussions that we had at our last meeting about the downvoting and some other stuff. And I'm glad that you have been able to tell us that they have removed the no voting from the app. It's a plus for the community and the African community as well. So, Mr. Obio, thank you very much for the update. David will come in just after our small discussion about the blockchain adoption in Africa, because he also had a meetup today for the Catalyst of Content Hall, and it's all centered around the blockchain adoption in Africa. The question I wanted to ask is about the application base. If any of us have used an application base, a blockchain application base before.
So maybe let me open up that conversation. I think for generally in Africa, the first I don't know, but for me, my first interaction with a blockchain app was definitely Binance, right? I don't think there's anyone that has not used that, and that is actually pure the app, right? But secondly, the next one we most time have used is I've used the apps for verifications, where blockchain-based apps for verifications, where you have to either put in your wallet to ensure that it's just one person that is using this particular application and all of that. I think that has been my most use cases of blockchain apps generally.
Okay. Now I know there are a lot of fintech companies coming up, and most of them are heading towards Africa. But I'm wondering, I'm not sure if these fintech companies are building on the blockchain or they're still on the web 2. Is there anything we can do? Like get in touch with these African-based entrepreneurs that are going into fintech and introduce Cardano to them? Like, is there any what do you think is the best approach?
Yeah, let's hear from other people. Owner
Yes.
and before I give my opinion as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Good
Hi.
evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, nice to be here once again. And the topic is a very apt one. The topic is a very apt one, and I want to believe the challenge with blockchain adoption is around the regulatory environment.
Okay.
Particularly for us here in Nigeria, the regulatory authorities have been kind of vocal and resistant about blockchain adoption. So I think that's one major challenge. Other than that, if the environment was supportive, maybe more businesses would have adopted, and then more financial institutions would have, brought about more adoption of blockchain. So I think the regulatory environment is a major factor. But be that as it may, the younger generation is pushing, and I want to believe it's only a matter of time. Blockchain will find more use cases across Africa and more uses, particularly among businesses, common among young people. That's my view.
That's a great view. That's a great view, especially when we are looking at the regulatory, because it will be very difficult for these fintech companies to say they are building on the blockchain or they are incorporating blockchain into their fintech while the country they're operating in is not blockchain regulated. But I know there are a lot of this thing, how do you call it? How do you perceive the current level of blockchain in Nigeria?
I think presently the use cases are mainly around payments, remittances, and then to some extent maybe DeFi. Is yet to find its way into other areas. So it's always about being about payment, remittances, and decentralized finance. Okay, but I want to believe over time it will diffuse into other areas, particularly if the regulatory environment is supportive,
Yes. That's true. Yeah. But this is also a general question. Do we think Africa is ready for blockchain? Do we have the skills, the resources, the infrastructure?
It's a yes and no question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In my opinion, if we are saying if Africa is ready with respect to our governments, then I would say no. And this again leads us to the second research we needed to make about the whole blockchain adoption. I think we've done the research for internet adoption. We need to do research for market blockchain adoption, which is supposed to speak to the question of the legal, is it legal in your country? And is it, so we have this, for example, in Nigeria, it's a very funny use case, and probably I would like to hear from David and Bernard and all of that, how the use case is in their own context. But in Nigeria, it's very funny. And this is why it's funny. The government does not say that, so they put crypto and all of that in a way that it's hard for you to say it's legal or illegal. They don't put their support, but people are using it and there's no law against it. So it makes it a very tough situation. Like, can we say this thing is legal or illegal, right? So for me, I think governments in Africa are not ready, but Africans are ready. And that is the most important part of it. Like, from what I would see, I think maybe that's one of the things we may deduce from our framework or from our analysis if we check through, because a lot of African countries, we realize that it doesn't have illegal status, but does not have an illegal status as well. So one of the things that we are now realizing is that the way out now is that Africans themselves are ready for blockchain, because that is what matters a lot, because technology wants the people are so because of this whole problem, we cannot send money abroad, we cannot receive money abroad. All of these problems that have been created by the political class makes Africans to become much more willing and much more how do I put it, much more eager to adopt blockchain as compared to any other continent. So that's the way I put it.
Okay, I see. So these are some of the challenges that we are currently facing. But aside the regulatory and the lack of the infrastructure, is there anything that we think also can also hinder us, like trust and security?
Yes. I hope you people hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. So discussion on that topic today. Someone was telling me all they know about blockchain is crypto, and I told them it is a very wide kind of technology or infrastructure that can be applied to a wide array of industries and fields. So with them, the very first people who introduced crypto, the concept of crypto in Uganda here, were scammers. So they collected people's money, and then after some time, they went away with the money, like they cut off communication and they just went off. So ideally, to them it's a scam. So I had to first now narrow down the talk of blockchain to money, the money perspective, and try to build a picture of why we need the money, the crypto aspect, and then how flawed the current monetary system that we have is. Then coming back to the question of why do we think are we ready yet or not for the blockchain? I feel there is no point of being ready or not. The idea is define a moment or establish a problem that blockchain infrastructure solves as opposed to the conventional methods of computing and the available technologies outside blockchain. So as long as you appreciate there is a need for blockchain technology somewhere as opposed to the conventional means, we are ready. Then on the people, on the social aspect, on the social level, I believe we've fidgeted. I've tried to help people establish some to get the Cardano wallets, trying to fidget about getting how you can transfer your money from if you have the dollars, if you have less, if you have different wallets, So the whole experience of someone noting down the 15 secret words, 15 words of a secret phrase, and trying to keep them safe, there comes a hurdle. So what happens is that becomes a barrier to entry because you are becoming your own bank. You are moving with your money wherever you go. If you are keeping it in a hot wallet, like on a mobile phone, so the issue of you keeping your money safe as you can, without forgetting the secret phrase, without exposing it, becomes a challenge of somewhere. So those are some of the hurdles. Besides the other aspects, the normal aspects of being some people not being well aware of what the technology is about, and the bad user experience all through. But those barriers to entry, in terms of course, the regulation bit also is a problem. But at least I've tried my level best to engage different authorities, at least in my capacity as a person who is somewhat exposed in the field, and then who has benchmarked from what other sort of countries are doing in terms of regulation and adopting a sensible kind of approach to operating or to licensing or to guaranteeing better security and safety while using this technology. That is the Ugandan case. I've given you a benchmark for Malawi. I've given you a benchmark for Kenya, and probably Tanzania. Back to you, Daniel.
That's great. I think before I came in with my trust and security issue, Obi asked a question. It just occurred to me. He gave a case study of what's going on in Nigeria, and he threw the question back to you and Bernard. I don't know if Bernard would like to take it from there. You have something to say about what Obi said. Okay.
I will try to give a perspective of South Africa as far as I know, in terms of blockchain as such. Blockchain became very popular among my communities in 2018. Even the lady who introduced me to blockchain herself I didn't understand it, but it drew a lot of attention, a lot of communities towards Ethereum mostly. But then in 2018, the crash, and a lot of people lost monies, and then it became very unpopular gradually. Normally, the use case mostly in 2018, 2019, 2020, it was mostly NFTs were coming in, but finance, just like Bitcoin, financial transactions, and the trading. Those things were the most common practices that I saw. And then in 2020, I can tell you again, communities came up again, even my communities. We had the Chinese, Byte Trade, they came in, they established very big, many communities from what I know. And then 2020, the COVID, again, and the decline of the value of Bitcoin from around 60,000 US dollars down to almost 15,000 US dollars. Again, it is mostly associated with scam, the majority of people. And then now the whole perspective of the government. When the current government came into power, I think it was in 2018, the president himself established a team of IT to look into fourth industrial revolution. And the president himself stated it very clearly that South Africa was going to get into blockchain in a meaningful way. And today, if I look again with this UJ, I was at the UJ, University of Johannesburg, where there it was blockchain mainstream. That was the whole theme of the whole day. University of Johannesburg has partnered with Switzerland University. They were the main sponsors for that. It was very full. There were lots of participation, and of interest, there is a lady called Miss Caroline Dama. I don't know if you know this lady. Whether she's in Uganda or somewhere in Central Africa. I was thinking maybe in Uganda. I'm not very sure where she is, but somewhere in North Central Africa, there, this lady. She flew, she came there to present her use cases of blockchain. It was amazing. I was shocked how far Africa is so advanced in blockchain. She has communities of more than 300,000 families that are benefiting from blockchain integrated with artificial intelligence. They have sort of created value out of their own token within communities. It will be very interesting if you can also try to talk to that lady. I got her numbers, everything, because the way she changed the African communities using blockchain integrated with artificial intelligence and Internet of Things in agriculture, it showed me how far ahead on Cardano communities on pitches. Yeah, the people pitch so many different ideas. But I met a lady who has, I can say, improved the economy part of African communities using blockchain, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence. I've got Anushka from Atala Prism. That team was there. I will contact them because they know this lady. That was one. The second thing there from the presentation of UJ, we had some government officials. If I say government, I don't know those people who were there, but they are key officials in South Africa who, on their presentation, they have got a front in blockchain, a foot in front on blockchain. Their presentation was more like we need to step up the app. It is the apps that are lacking, the infrastructure. But people need it to solve the problems that are so many within our communities. And then from a University of Switzerland, doctor, I've forgotten the doctor, he said here in South Africa, no, this whole community of blockchain mainstream must, let me put it in a simple way, develop depths on drug traceability so that the type of drugs we are using in South Africa, where did they come from? Are they genuine? Up until whatever, we can trace even drug abuse. That was the main request on getting these use cases implemented. And then other people presented various use cases. I've got a video on that, but it was mostly on South Africa. And then the other thing I can say now is I have been in contact through some of the communities around here, MZ, on blockchain, on the digital identity, SSI. I was so amazed that these people are so much, because even MZ told me he's 4 years into this blockchain with the digital identity. He has got his own, what to call it, depths he's working on. He requested me to also work with him. Finally, I will present to you who attended. Standard Bank attended. ABSA attended. Let me explain. Who is Standard Bank? I think you know Standard Bank is one of the largest banks in Africa. I don't know. I believe maybe Standard Bank is there also in your countries. Developers attended there. And then ABSA also is one of, it used to be called Barclays Bank. Then Barclays from UK, I think, they left a local one, which is called ABSA Bank. What is very interesting is ABSA presented a depth on digital ID, their way of approaching it, because from the financial side, they brought in a Q&A on why blockchain is not being adopted quickly because of this regulation need. And if that need is a small problem, it can just be sorted out. It is a very good technology for the banks. Here I'm talking about banks now. One of the two major banks in South Africa, ABSA and Standard Bank. And the presenter on Standard Bank was not just an ordinary banker or what. He has been 37 years in Standard Bank. I've forgotten how many years he has been onto blockchain. I remember even last year on Cardano Summit, Standard Bank reps were there again. So, in short, from some of the people I have met and came into contact with in South Africa, blockchain is one of the technologies which is at par with artificial intelligence, which is at par with Internet of Things, machine learning. So they are adopting it very quickly and trying to see how they can implement it in their various use cases. For the banks, it was they spell, actually the way they put it, it was exactly like how Charles puts it. Because from Standard, he made it very clear that there are so many people without bank accounts. And again, he made it very clear that sending money from one country to another takes time, takes money, and it's not easy. But with a technology like blockchain, things definitely are going to be faster and better. and the more people are going to be in the banking system. So I saw what already in 2018 we realized that the banks are going to adopt blockchain. Blockchain is going to be one of the mainstream technologies in Africa or in the whole world. So that is what I can share with you. If there are any questions, you can ask.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, but in South Africa, has any bank adopted it already, or it's still in the books?
By adoption, I think I can say Standard Bank is into blockchain. They're experimenting a lot with it. ABSA, they presented their own, what do you call it, digital ID. And the very fact that they took part, it's an interest, it's a signal of interest. I know we have got on our ATMs here. I will take a picture and show you. On our ATM, it is written there, scan the QR code and then pay, get your money or trade, what do you call it, buy Bitcoins or sell Bitcoins, trade Bitcoins on the ATM of Standard Bank. It has got a QR code with the Bitcoin which says you scan. I've never tested it, but I know in our very big major cities like Sandton, Four Ways, those are the richest of the rich. We've got a Bitcoin ATMs there. Go there on a Bitcoin ATM, you buy Bitcoin, you say change Bitcoin there. We do have that. We have got Luno on the exchanges part. We've got Luno. I think Luno is in Africa. It's one of the biggest exchanges we have. Yeah. And interestingly, today I was reading Luno has started staking ADA.
Wow.
That was very interesting because Luno only concentrated on Bitcoin and Ethereum only for the past, since 2018. It didn't go into any altcoins except Ethereum. It was only Bitcoin and Ethereum. But now Cardano, you can get a Cardano from Luno. And Luno is like Binance in South Africa or in Africa. And Binance again, this year for the first time, Binance is a South African. There's a Binance South Africa. So those are the indicators that there is also the retail. On the retail part now, ShopRite, I think it's Pick and Pay or ShopRite, some of these big retailers. Now they have this mechanism where you can buy your stuff using Bitcoins or crypto. So that is there now in South Africa. Now on the regulation part within the bank and the government, what is their position? They came up this year with a framework of regulating cryptocurrency. So the products of blockchain, like tokens, like NFTs, have been categorized as digital assets. And now they are assets now. They are legally assets. If anyone steals my Bitcoin, I can go to court now, like that. And now they have said up until 2025, all companies that are doing exchange, they must register. And then they will be regulated on probably the amount of transactions and this KYC. I think also they are moving in so that they can collect tax around that one. So in South Africa, the situation, it was caused by, there was a group formed, I think in 2018, including the banks, all Bitcoin companies, especially Luno, the Reserve Bank, they were looking at it, sharing ideas, looking at how it works. Finally, this year, they've stepped in a foot to say they are going to regulate it. Any institution dealing with blockchain, it has to be registered. I have looked around for the registration. It has, and I haven't seen anything yet. But they put a figure like 2025. So in South Africa, officially, I can say blockchain products, services, and I think they are there is a legal way with it. It's not something that is now neither illegal nor illegal like before. We didn't know what to do. The banks always used to say, just find a certain regulation policy and use it within your company rather than to operate unregulated. So that is why now it is very clear how we handle that, even on the exchanges with the Reserve Bank. There is some compliance of some nature to follow with that.
Awesome.
So I can foresee a huge use cases within the industry because the blockchain is a technology that is tamper-proof and it solves a lot of problems apart from identity. You know, industry issues, not only industry issues of information that is relying on data that is being changed here and there. We are also looking at even the government, like here, getting an ID. Most of the IDs are fraudulent IDs. They've frozen 500,000 identity documents here because of 1, 2, 3 problems. But I think blockchain there is going to solve that definitely along the way. So from what I see, South Africa is going to be one of the centers of blockchain development in Africa.
Awesome.
There are already very big companies that have developed dApps, but it's so big that I think due to the depression of the value of Bitcoin, it went silent. But they are there. They are there. They are developing using different blockchains. And Cardano, also there are so many Cardano communities that are developing. You don't see them on these groups. That is one issue that I have with these people, even in Johannesburg. They are there. They are there, and they are developing wonderful things.
Awesome. I think that's just what we wanted to hear. Any other this thing before we go to David to give us some update because of time? We are running late already.
Yes, I'd wanted to ask Bernard about, because he's working with students. I wanted to ask him, how are they adopting the blockchain? Like, what's their reaction? If you can give us just a quick
I
update.
can say it's 100% students. They want Cardano. They want
Okay.
Haskell. They want Bluetooth Core. They want it. The only thing, the only problem I have seen, because I'm not running it for the first time, it's almost 1 year now since last year. I've read even some Bluetooth Haskell training. Unemployment is very high. So and it's growing up high. For them to spend 2, 3 years on a project that has got no income, it's impossible. Because Johannesburg is a very expensive, very fast city. It's just like Lagos in Nigeria or New York. So when they complete a university, they are looking for employment to work formally and earn. So when they are engaging in blockchain, it is an upskilling engagement, not a main engagement. Unless if I employ them and say, all right, I've got 5 positions for these blockchain developers, then they will apply. And then from there, they will realize, no, they don't know anything about blockchain. They need to learn it. They need to learn Web3. So I have got an advantage. We have an advantage with the Richfield part, even the campus manager, because Richfield has got 14 different campuses nationwide. It is in almost every province, or 80-90% of the provinces in South Africa. And Newtown, this one which is here next to my office, is the one that is 100% with the blockchain, with Cardano. I don't know other blockchains, but with Cardano. Because even Saki, the campus manager himself, he said, please, Bernard, when Charles comes to South Africa, let him come to my campus.
Obio, do you think this is possible?
I'm thinking a lot
For
right
us to
now.
have a program, like have a big program, a big conference, where we can get Charles to come and give a talk, not physical, but maybe virtual or something like that.
What I'm even thinking is probably, let me tell you what I was thinking, friend, as Bernard was talking. So I discovered that there are two approaches, and that I think probably that's why this research may be needed and all of these things. But
Okay.
it's something I'm seeing, right? We need to start strategic engagement with two critical stakeholders.
Okay.
One is government, two is the universities.
Yes.
This is the two things I discovered with what Bernard is talking about. By the time, so when we say government, it means from all levels. It can even be local government chairman, can be mayors, it can be as little as that. It can be to state governments and even national governments. But I think where we are missing in this whole equation is that we've been focusing on the people a lot. But the two stakeholders that can change the narrative of blockchain adoption in Africa, especially, are the people, the gateholders, the people that have the ability to influence the communities to actually adopt. And the two people is always the universities are the one, is the center of education. They feed the mind of the people. So if we can start engaging with those critical stakeholders at that level, and then also engaging with the governments at their own level, I think this is where the whole change that we are so from there now, what happens is we one, the enabling environment that allows developers to be able to develop and do whatever they want to do comes in. Two, the issue of scam that has been common in all of everything we said, which has been the first thing that people engage with, becomes reduced because now there's a framework on what can be called blockchain and how people can even organize themselves in a blockchain and all those stuff. There's a framework in those countries. So we take away the scam that has been the one that is driving away people. Then three, the universities stand as that whole citadel of education, of research, and of feeding the mind of the people. I think if we can work with these two critical stakeholders, maybe after that we can now distill into the high school stakeholders, or we can just put them together when we are engaging with the universities. But I think these two pillars is our door to actually entering into Africa and creating a wide adoption.
That's a great suggestion. That's very, very great and brilliant.
Can you add banks, the corporate environment and the banks?
Yeah, so
because if Standard Bank, they came and demoed.
The thing is this,
the Standard Bank is interested. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing with banks and corporates is that if those people are not there, or sorry, let's assume banks adopt, there is no assurance of it going down to the last mile, because the person that is not using a bank will not benefit from it. And we have a lot of unbanked people, even when we have banks everywhere. One. And then the second problem with corporates as this thing is that corporates always want to use corporate structure to do things. And then, but decentralization works at the basis. So for me, I'm not saying we are not going to engage banks and corporates. I'm just saying that from what you said, I think the two most fundamental, two critical pillars that even have the ability to influence even the corporates and other ones into the direction that we want it to go. Because if banks are the first people to adopt in any place, they want to adopt it and make it corporate. They want to make the decentralization centralized because they are corporates. Corporates always have their own intention. But when the adoption comes from these other people, the banks have no other choice than to actually adopt it in the way it ought to be.
That's true. That's true. The whole issue is blockchain being a decentralized how do you call it, system, because these corporate people usually want to steal the cafe and control things.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think, blockchain is very wide. Let's not look at it only in certain aspects. We have got hybrid blockchains, which are already very popular with maybe IBM blockchains or whatever. They are there. For me, I want to just be the first mover. Just like email. When email came, I was one of the person who tested Yahoo email. And it was very interesting to send an email and somebody receive it in UK. Very interesting. But little did I know that the same webmail will dominate till today. And it fell. Yahoo fell, webmail, and they were overtaken by Gmail. It's the same like I'm telling you from my side. My side, I just want to go full swing and be the first mover and take that advantage. So that when these entities like the government, the corporate, they require IT services or consulting in that benefit, they should only refer to okay, we know Bernard is going to consult on this. We know this. Yeah. If we look at decentralization as an obstacle, we look at anonymity like this public leisure as an issue or whatever. Those are small things. If you have got a debt that solves a problem, you don't have to tell them it's a blockchain, whatever. It just says, okay, your problem now is your IDs, you've got 10 million IDs that are wrong because people are changing or stealing, whatever. Your home affairs is corrupt, whatever. But I've got a technology where people can't change anything. You demo it. I'm telling you, they are just going to buy and put it and use it maybe for the next 5, 6, 7 years. Then later they realize, oh, that is blockchain. Oh, that is the thing that came with Bitcoin. If you go with a mentality to say, let me teach you first, what is blockchain? Understand it. Then later I will teach you my depth, how it's going to solve this one here. The moment you try to teach, then you are tempted to give examples of blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, then, oh, that's same thing. Then you find then you have got already barriers. So you go, like for example, what I like with Anushka from Atala prison. She tells people the problem and everyone agrees with her. Then she gives them that digital IT solution, identity solution from Atala prison. And everyone say, how can we get it? How can we test it? Where do we get it? How? We take the books, we go and spend the whole weeks and now trying to read and get into it. So those are what I have realized. It is the approach that you need to start your target audience. And then when you, even this, who is this one? This Caroline. She said people are using blockchain services they have, but they don't know it is blockchain. Says they are receiving SMSs, everything is running, but under the hood, it is blockchain. That approach, I think, is the best. Don't have to tell people, now I'm going to teach you blockchain, then sell you blockchain services. For now, when a lot of others, traders, scammers, pyramid schemes, they're also, even exchanges are collapsing with people's money. And it's all cryptocurrency. So in short, I can say maybe, let's just solve the problem. Take a depth like Atala Prison. put it on their desk. Or take any other tap. I can give an example. Nana has got a recycling tap, which I liked so much. Ever since he introduced to me, I immediately invited him to come to South Africa because my wife is working with the largest recycling company in South Africa. So already, when we bring that tap, we don't even tell them it is a blockchain, it is what. We just tell them how it solves their problem. And then from there, demo, give it use it for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. I don't know. What do you say about that?
I agree with that.
Yes, I also agree. Also agree with that. Also agree with that. I got to read the white paper for the Cardano Recycle app, which was being implemented by Nana Safo, your partner. And I think it's one of the best use cases.
Use cases.
Yes, I don't know how far it has gotten to, but I'll try and see if we can get him on board to come and share his project with us as well. You know, the future of blockchain in Africa, we can't discuss all today. There are a lot of issues, there are a lot of challenges, and there are a lot of opportunities that if we pay attention, we'll be able to tap into it and then continue with the good work that we are doing. However, we have done a survey about, it can take about 3 to 5 minutes of your time. So please try, I've sent it to the group, to the chat. Please try and fill it for us and then share your ideas with us. Whatever that you feel like we are not able to discuss here or we're not able to ask you, please do that and then share with your network too. Bernard, please, if you can share the survey with your network, your students, and let us know their opinion, what they think about blockchain in Africa. I'll hand it over to Obio to close us.
All right. So yeah, it's been a very profitable discussion. Learned a lot and seen a whole lot that we can do. It only opens us to much more questions on how we can actually solve this problem and how we can create much more adoption. So thank you everyone for your contribution. And yeah, let's see again in 2 weeks. By then the catalyst for 11 will be open, and let's see the magic we can do together.
Okay.
Awesome. Can you help me here? I'm trying to open this form. It is saying dynamic link not found. Is it the same what you see from your side?
Hold on. If you can refresh your page again.
Forms.gle/ dynamic link not found.
Okay, please hold on. Please hold on. Hold on. I think I've opened it in 2 different places.
Okay.
Hold on, please. Okay, here we go. Please try this one. Try this one.
Let me check this one. Yeah.
It's working.
This one is opened. I will share it with everyone. Yeah.
Okay, please. Okay. Okay.
I've also shared one of the articles about blockchain adoption in South Africa. You can just check, have a look at it.
Okay. You mean your summit?
No, this is another one. Grace Ashiru says
Okay.
South Africa emerges as one of the leading blockchain markets in Africa. Just check.
Okay. Check in Africa. Okay.
And check that one also. But apart from this, thank you so much. We will think more in depth about
Welcome.
the use cases.
Yes. We'll let Richmond to contact you